A lot of times what happens is that when you send an email and you are trying to follow up, now you have sent something which is of his personal interest as well, still the client is not responding. As I said in the beginning, not every client will do business with you, and some of these may not respond at all. But sometimes you may get a response which is very, very rude. You may get a client who will say that I'm not interested, why are you bothering me? No problem. Say that I'm sorry, I did not mean to. I did not want to, kind of trouble you. But since we started this conversation, I thought maybe I'll share my piece of information or whatever was required to be done at my end. I have done that. I understand you don't need it right now, but whenever in future there is a requirement, I am there to help you. And in any ways, apart from the sales and the product and the service that we are talking about, as a person, I think I appreciate, I like your way of talking, or your way of whatever one thing or two things that you can talk or praise about to continue that partnership. Please try and understand the client may not like your product or service right now, but that doesn't mean that he will never like it or never want to have that product or service. You understand it's an important product or service. You understand that it's an important, part of his life. He may not need it right now, but I'm sure he's going to, need it at some point of time. I keep giving this example that, if you're trying to sell me a CFL bulb, I understand it's very, energy efficient. It saves electricity bill and all of that, but I don't need it right now. That doesn't mean that I will not need it ever. So whenever there is like a requirement of a bulb in my house, I will look for a CFL bulb, or I will get in touch with you for that CFL bulb. So please try and understand that sometimes after everything that you have done in the rule book, which talks about how to get in touch with a client, how to approach a client, it may not give you the desired result. That doesn't mean that the product is not good or the customer is not good. Right now, there is no requirement of your product. So end the sales call, but don't end that relationship or partnership with the client. Don't end the communication that you're having with the client. Find ways to communicate and keep in touch. I am a personal promoter of building partnerships and relationship with client. And I keep saying this, that the conversation or the relationship should not end with the product, getting sold to a client and money exchanging hands. It's a partnership that you build with your client. It's a friendship that you build over a period of time, which is going to, obviously be beneficial for both. And who doesn't want to do business with friends? But I understand there are a lot of women who are there in sales, who go out and meet a client, who are trying to get in touch with a client. And sometimes these communication or over friendliness or enthusiasm can be taken into a different sense. I personally believe, and in my career, I have felt that there is always a decorum that you can maintain. Like, for example, don't message too late in the night. Don't try to send emails in the midnight to a client saying that this is the proposal. It's not that he's thinking that you're a very hardworking person, but it's not professional. So sometimes these are some of the, the non-verbal language. These are some of the language and signs which are to be taken care of. A lot of times we try to be over friendly with the client and we are sending a WhatsApp message. I personally believe that and this is especially for women and for men as well, don't put emojis in with a smiley and all of that. I think sometimes people don't have the maturity to understand what do you mean. So the other day I was kind of, I was going through a Twitter comment, and then a lady had written something and a guy had responded and the lady liked that message. So when you like that message on Twitter, it has a heart, or I think Instagram, it had a heart sign. Now the guy took it in a different sense. Now in that sense, the lady very clearly said that, it's just that I don't have any other option but to put that heart sign when I like something. I understand the maturity at the other end may not be there, but then you need to be extra careful. And in the due course of this process, you will meet some people who are gems, and you will really have this partnership with them, which will be very, very fruitful. But you need to be careful when you start, and you can't trust everyone, especially when and this is for my women friends and colleagues who are there, that this is something that you need to be careful about. Maintain the timelines, like, it's 9:30 to 6:37 is an ideal time. to get in touch and to follow up and to send emails, send WhatsApp messages. Avoid using emojis in your messages and WhatsApp messages these days. Try and not to be over friendly in your words and communications and all of that. Try and make it as formal as possible. And trust me, people appreciate that. So I think this is something that one needs to be careful about, and I'm sure it's going to help you a lot.